Welcome to this week's episode of Dichotomy. I'm Di Jones, and today I wanted to touch base with a physical symptom that comes from a spiritual connection. So we all know that the body, mind, and the soul are all intricately connected. But what happens when the spiritual changes that you're experiencing start to show up as a physical discomfort or pain? So in this way, I'm talking about headaches. If you've ever had a massive headache or migraine that's come on out of the blue, have a think about whether it was correlated to a change that you were making at the time or something that you were about to go and do. So for instance, you might go ahead and do a meditation retreat, or you might go ahead and book in for that ayahuasca that you've always wanted to do, or you might sit down and start connecting with your guides and wishing to channel. But somewhere out there, you've sent the cosmos a message that says, I'm ready to take the next step in my spiritual evolution. So the cosmos says, no worries, got that message. And guess what? We're going to start that process for you right now. So I'll give you an example of one of these situations I had myself, where I'd enrolled to go on a 5-day retreat. I had no idea what the retreat was going to be like, but leading up to it, 5 days from it, I got a minor headache. 4 days from it, I got a heavier headache. 3 days from it, I was almost borderline migraine. And by the time I got in the car to drive to the location, my head was hurting so much. I had to stop and pull over and go for a walk and try and shake my body out to do something to release the energy that was building up between my temples. So when I got to the retreat, the facilitator came up to me and she said, how are you? And I said, oh, look, I'm great, with the exception of I have this massive headache that I can't explain. And she said, when did this start? And I said, about 4 or 5 days ago, when I made the final payment for the retreat. And she smiled at me, nodded, and she said, yep. And I sort of said, what does yep mean? And she said, you'll find out. And the rest of the retreat, I did find out a lot of things about what happens when your body is exposed to spiritual downloads, and those downloads are possibly a little bit heavy for the level of physical evolution you've done. So have a think about that. If you're on a spiritual journey, you're about to embark on something new, and you're opening yourself up to receive, there's 2 things I'd like you to think about. Number 1, set healthy energetic boundaries. We all have a field of energy around us. And when we are operating in our normal, relaxed, happy phase, our energy can extend out quite a way around us. And what that means is that their energy is open. They are allowing us to perceive of them and to feel them in our vicinity. But it also means that things can come into the energetic sphere. So if you're the sort of person who's very, very open, keep in mind that you're going to be picking up their energies. And some of them are energies that aren't easy to carry and may not actually help you on your journey. So that's the first thing. Protect your energy, set your boundaries. How far are you going to let your energy go out? And do you shield it in some way to make sure that you're not absorbing other people's energies? Mantras or affirmations such as, my energy is mine and your energy is yours. Or, I release all energies and emotions that are not mine or for my highest good. There are many, many ways you can set yourself up to protect your energy and make sure you're not taking on other people's energy, other places' energy, or old distant emotions and things around you that you no longer need or are not going to help you on your retreat, your meditation, wherever you're going. The second aspect is when working with Source is super helpful. It is going to give us exactly what we ask for. Now, if you sit there and say, help me out, Source, I am open to receive, you are going to receive. Now, the question is, what do you want to receive? How much of it do you want to receive? And when? So, in setting ourselves up for successful spiritual evolution and training, one of the things to remember is to say, hey, Source, I'm open to receive only that which my body can handle, only that which is in my highest good, only that is within the realms of this specific thing that I'm looking to learn, do, or move through. Think of the body as an electrical wire. We are electrical beings. We're part of the electrical universe. We are all connected to the earth, the sky, the animals, the plants, the wind. Everything has a frequency. Everything is electric in some way, shape, or form. We all operate at a different level. Now, when we're developing our spiritual gifts, we can ask to receive, but if we are at the level of development where we are, say, a 12-volt wiring system, and then we are asking Source, which is a high voltage power station, to bring information down to us. Well, of course, that information has to go through a series of transducers to reduce the power of the energy coming through down to a point where we can understand it, process it, transmute it through us without causing damage. So the example I gave you of having a massive migraine going into something was because I'd opened myself up to Source and said, I'd like to receive everything that I possibly can from this retreat, but I didn't set any parameters. I didn't set healthy boundaries. I didn't recognize that my being, my body, had only just started that journey. And so what I was asking it to do was overloading it. I was actually frying the system by being too open and too eager to receive guidance. So I hope that's been helpful for you today. I wish you all the best on your spiritual journey. And if this has been helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments how you have navigated your own spiritual evolution and the challenges you encountered with your own physical being, having to learn to adapt and evolve with that spiritual process. Anyway, this has been Dichotomy. I'm Di Jones, transformational coach, and I wish you all the best for this week and hope to see you next week. Take care.